Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's open border policies are producing suffering, chaos, and misery. They are producing Americans being killed by the scourge of fentanyl. They are producing little boys and little girls being repeatedly sexually assaulted by human traffickers. They are producing crime and death. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's open borders policies are making your families less safe. Last year, in calendar year 2021, we had over 2 million people cross the border illegally. It's the highest rate in 62 years. This is a man-made problem. This is the direct result of political decisions Joe Biden and Kamala Harris made. 2 years ago, Joe Biden named Kamala Harris as the border czar. She hadn't been to the Rio Grande Valley once. Kamala, come to the Rio Grande Valley. Joe Biden, come to the Rio Grande Valley. Joe Biden, come to the Biden cages. We've seen Democrat hypocrites go on and on and on about kids in cages when President Trump was president. They never mentioned that Barack Obama built the cages, and the cages are bigger and more full under Joe Biden. Lindsay and I serve on the Senate Judiciary Committee. In a year and a half, we've had 0 hearings on the crisis on the southern border. The Senate Democrats, they don't care. We've had 4 or 5 hearings on amnesty. The only thing they care about is more amnesty, because as they see it, every illegal alien is a future Democrat voter. And it's cynical because their view is if more children have to get physically and sexually assaulted to help them at the ballot box, so be it. And let me tell you something. You may think you don't live in Texas, you don't live in Arizona, you're not a border state. Every state in America is a border state. Let me tell you why. The people that come over, every person that crosses the border has to pay a cartel. The cartel have total control over the border. You pay them typically between $3,000 and $8,000 to cross the border. Many times when they cross the border, they're put in a stash house where the cartels extract even more money from the people who've just been trafficked across the border. And many of them are wearing colored wristbands. Now, what are the colored wristbands? The wristbands correspond to how many thousands of dollars they paid the cartels and how many more thousands of dollars they owe the cartels. And many of them come in debt for thousands of dollars to the cartels. What happens then? Joe Biden transports them to cities all over the country. Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the last mile of the human trafficking network. And so they arrive in every major city in America. If you're in New York, you're in a border city. If you're in Boston, you're in a border city. If you're in Milwaukee, you're in a border city. If you're in Cleveland, you're in a border city. If you're in Charleston, you're in a border city. Why? Because you get 15, 16-year-old boys show up that the Biden administration has trafficked to your town, and they owe the cartels thousands of dollars. And they got to pay it back because the cartels will murder their families. And so you've got teenage boys in every state in America working for the drug cartels in your community. And I got to tell you, the boys have it better than the girls. Because too many of these teenage girls that owe the cartels thousands of dollars find themselves placed in a house of prostitution and forced into involuntary sex slavery. And I got to say, if you're a 15, 16-year-old Honduran girl, you look north, you had dreams of freedom, and you suddenly find yourself in a living hell, trapped in sex slavery, this is Joe Biden's fault. This is Kamala Harris's fault. 2 closing things. I want to say to Brandon Judd, who is a good friend, who leads the Border Patrol Union, and I want to say to the men and women of the Border Patrol, you've had a year and a half of political leadership undermining you, preventing you from doing your job, demonizing you, and attacking you. I am amazed that Border Patrol agents show up for work each day. Amen. I am amazed that they go and risk their lives to apprehend dangerous criminals only to see their political superiors turn around and let those criminals go so you can catch them the next day. And to see the President of the United States falsely accuse Border Patrol agents on horseback of whipping people, which was a political lie, is offensive. So the message that I'm going to ask you to carry to your brothers and sisters is help is on the way.
I'll do that. Amen.
Help is on the way. And I'll tell you, because of the disaster of Biden-Harris, Republicans are going to retake the House and we're going to retake the Senate. And when we do, we are going to move legislation to secure the damn border and to stand with the men and women of Border Patrol. What the Democrats are doing is wrong, and let me just give a moment of hope. Last week, we had a special election in the state of Texas. The district that runs from Corpus Christi all the way down to Brownsville to the southern tip of Texas. It's a district that has been Democrat since 1871. 151 years it's been a Democrat district. It elected a Republican. Not just a Republican, an Hispanic woman who is a conservative who's seen firsthand the horrors of open borders. And I'm here to predict right now, there are two other districts in South Texas that likewise have been Democrat for over 100 years. I believe we're going to win all three. You're going to see 3 Republicans elected from South Texas, all Hispanic women. And I cannot wait. And actually, just yesterday in Virginia, Yesli Vega, who is the daughter of immigrants from El Salvador, whose brother was nearly killed by MS-13, was badly wounded and nearly killed. She won her primary yesterday. We're going to see 4 new Republicans, Hispanic women, standing up and saying open borders are wrong. And I cannot wait to see Nancy Pelosi and AOC argue with these Hispanic women. No. You don't understand what the border is like. What they're doing is wrong. And the American people are fed up with it.